Video number 2. This is me going over the defensive side of the ball. But first, I didn't get to the linemen. I'll go over them real quick. Who I think the elite guys are. There's more than this, but these are guys. Oh wow, I didn't even get to the tight end, so I'm gonna have to hit the tight ends and the O linemen real quick. Tight ends. My number one's Jimmy Graham. Obviously, he's a freak of nature. He goddamn dunked the goalpost down. Gronk's my number 2 when healthy. He's basically unstoppable. He's so big and fast and strong. Well, number 3, Vernon Davis. Again, he's probably one of the most athletic players in the league. If he had better ball skills, he'd be unstoppable. But he's still really good. He just he has unbelievable speed. 4.38 speed for a tight end. That's not real. Next, I would say is Julius Thomas. He's right there too with Jordan Cameron. I couldn't really pick between one or the other, but Julius Thomas, I mean, the difference is Julius Thomas is Tom Brady. Jordan Cameron has Brian Hoyer, and I think if you flip the roles, Cameron would probably do better. And then after that, I went Greg Olsen. He's been pretty consistent, gets it done. He's Cam Newton's really only weapon besides the rookie Benjamin. And after that, Martellus Bennett's a pretty nice target over there for Jay Cutler and the new monsters, the midway as far as the receivers. Next, I'm going to go with Old Man Gates, but he still gets it done. He has probably some of the best hands in the NFL still, and he's been doing it for so long. He's very crafty in his route running, which gets him open. Next, I gotta say Jason Witten. He's not much of a receiver anymore. He's too slow, but he still can make contested catches because of his size, and he's still a good blocker. He's better than most of these other players on here. Next, I like Heath Miller. He blocks well. He catches the ball. He's not much of a vertical guy, but he really can get the job done, and he's been a consistent player over in Pittsburgh. I like his overall game. Honorable mentions are Zach Ertz and Selleck. I couldn't really pick between the two because Selleck is such a good blocker. He's probably the best blocker out of this bunch. And Ertz is such a good receiver, but he's not really a blocker. So, I think Ertz is probably a better receiver than some of these guys. If you're just going to say who you don't want to put matched up on a linebacker, Ertz is definitely ahead of Witten or Miller, or even probably Martellus Bennett, and even maybe Gates at this point. Now, but the body works small, so I couldn't even put on. And also Dwayne Allen, I like his potential. I like where he is in that Colts offense, especially because he seems to be Luck's one of his favorite targets. There's a lot of weapons over there. Will Hilton, Reggie Wayne, and him and Nix. Nix isn't that good, but I like Hilton, and Wayne is obviously a very veteran player. Okay, so the line, I think Evan Mathis is probably the best of the linemen. He hasn't got beat in so long. I think he might have gave up 2 sacks last year or whatever. And this is based off like consensus. Well, I read from scouting reports and people who've talked to inside general managers saying Evan Mathis is probably the best lineman in the league. But right there's also Joe Thomas. He's probably the best tackle. He's been really, and then Peters. He's probably the best tackle in the run game, while Thomas is the best in the pass game. But they're both great in both. Also, I mean, you could literally say 3 out of the 4 best left tackles in the league are in the NFC East, with Tyron Smith, Jason Peters, and Trent Williams. I think those guys are, right around right where Peters is, but Peters obviously is been in the league for, what now? He's been to 6 Pro Bowls and multiple All-Pros. Tyron Smith and Trent Williams have only been in the league for a few years, but they're very good players, ascending players. Alex Mack's the best center. He plays for the Browns. They have a pretty strong offensive line with him and Joe Thomas. I think the second best center might be Jason Kelsey. I have him as my 10th lineman on this list. But again, this list is pretty because we're talking about centers, guards, and tackles. for all different types of schemes. So this kind of not a very accurate description. But Jason Kelsey is the most athletic lineman in the league, along with probably the three tackles I mentioned and Evan Mathis. Also, Josh Sitton is probably the second best guard behind Mathis. He's actually right there with him from what I understand, but Mathis is maybe a step better. Joe Staley is a very physical tackle for the Niners, really fits that offense. And Jake Long for the Rams, he's a very good pass blocker, and he doesn't help though. Sam Bradford still gets injured. And that's it for the linemen. Now, let's see if I can get through the defense in 10 minutes or 9 minutes. Well, in the interior defensive lineman, number one, J.J. Watt. It's obvious he's probably the best defensive player in the league, if not the best player in the league, because he can just dominate a game so easily. Second best defensive lineman is a 3-4 defensive Mo Wilkerson for the Jets. I think he's got tremendous. He's the perfect build for a 3-4 end. He gets sacks. He's great in the run game, and he really makes that Jets defense with a terrible back end average or good almost. Justin Smith's been a beast at that 3-4 end spot for so much time now. Now again, and I think J.J. Watt and Mo Wilkerson are 1 and 2, but now is where it kind of gets it's not really in order or anything. Also, Geno Atkins, he's probably the best 3 tech. Him and Gerald McCoy. Geno Atkins a little bit better. He's better in the run game, and he has been producing more sacks, and that Bengals defense is just awesome, usually, and he's a big part of that. It's been really good for a few years, and he's really been the main player, too, in that scheme. Halil United, you can't forget about him. Now he's a nose tackle. Him and Dontari Poe are the 2 nose tackles I got on here. They're the 2 guys that are the biggest and most athletic players in this league. They're both about 340 pounds and can run, which that they just shouldn't be able to move like that. Now 3 defensive ends that are young and ascending can really get after the passer and also are great in the run game. These 3 are 3-4 ends. Sheldon Richardson for the Jets. I loved him coming out. I thought he was going to be an excellent, and he ended up winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. So, he's pretty awesome. Fletcher Cox for the Eagles. Now he's been tearing up this year. I mean, he's not getting a ton of sacks, but he's dominant in the run game right now, and he is putting a push on the pocket. And also Cameron Jordan, he had a great year last year. He's definitely up there. He can get to the quarterback, and he made that Saints defense really able to run that 3-4 scheme after being a 4-3 team for a while. Honorable mentions are Calais Campbell. I left Sue off by an accident, so he should be somewhere in that top 10. You maybe take Cox or Jordan off there, or Dontari Poe. But I don't know. He hasn't been doing great. Calais Campbell, he's 6'8". He's a really good player. He's been good for a few years. Ray McDonald's been good for years, and Jarrell Casey's very underrated. Now I know a lot of people know him. He's defensive tackle for the Titans. I think he had 10 sacks last year. He's a very good 3 tech. Now for the edge rushers, we got Robert Quinn, number 1, and Cameron Wake probably number 2. I think Von Miller, he's actually technically a stack linebacker, but they use him as, they kind of run a 4-3 over type scheme where the Sam lines up in over, almost like it's like a hybrid scheme, so he's more actually on the edge a lot, especially on 3rd downs. Robert Mathis, he's been getting out the quarterback better than anyone for years and years, and I think once he moves to the 3-4, since he's a smaller guy, it actually let him have more space to work with, and his sack totals went up to 19.5 last year. Also, we can't forget about Clay Matthews. His sack totals haven't been great since, but he He is a very good pass rusher, and he's a good overall outside linebacker as far as being able to cover a little bit, make some plays on the ball, and get some interceptions and such. Also, DeMarcus Ware, and then I go DeMarcus Ware is my next one, and then Justin Houston. DeMarcus Ware, now some people think he might be slowing down, but I'm not sure about that. You can't, I don't see it. I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. Justin Houston, now he's a freak. He really is improving, and he's one of those players. You know, when him and I also have Tom Bailey on here. When both of them on the field, they both are a lot better. So when one of them's not on the field, I think Hali's hurt. You see production from Houston slip. So when they both make each other better. Alden Smith, he hasn't been playing a lot. He's been suspended, legal troubles, but when he was healthy, he was excellent, and he's scary. But he has a lot of help on that Niners defense with their strong front three, and also Willis and Bowman. So, you know, he really can get singled up more than most of these other guys. Other guy I want to mention is Ryan Kerrigan. He's not really a household name, but he gets a lot of sacks, and he makes a lot of plays. He had 4 sacks against the Jaguars, but the Jaguars suck. And my honorable mentions are his teammate Brian Arakpo. I think Brian Arakpo is kind of like the bigger name, but Kerrigan's the more productive player. He's better all around, and he's the better pass rusher. One thing though is Brian Arakpo is lined up on the right and Kerrigan on the left. That matters because on the right side you're usually going against the left tackle, who is usually the better player, and especially in pass protection. And the right tackle is either usually a lesser player or more of a run blocker, depending on the offense scheme. Now, some my honorable mentions are JPP. Wow. Jason Paul. Oh wow. I messed up his name a little bit, but that's okay. I forget what his name is for a second. So, Jason Pierre-Paul. I was just saying it backwards. Wow. Yeah, he's been inconsistent. Hasn't been doing much, but when he can turn it on, if he does, he is one of the most talented. Also, T-Sissel, Terrell Suggs. He's been doing it for a while. He's still got it, and he still gets it done. Mario Williams, he doesn't put up the numbers, but he's used a little bit different as a run stopper in the Bills defense. So that could be a big, reason why his production isn't that great, but it's still good. And then Greg Hardy, even though he would probably be in that top 10 maybe if he wasn't in the legal troubles. But the Kraken is a beast. He's a really good player. Alright, I'm going to stop here because I'll just do the back end, the stack backer, safety, and corner itself, because I'm running out of time here. But I'd like to also say, yeah, I'm fumbling a little bit right now. Never mind. Yeah, next video.